everybody. This episode of the GameOverGreggy Show is brought to you by kindafunny.com/store. That's right! Our store! The one we advertise all the time back here, and you refuse to go to. Do you know who makes these shirts? Andy does. Do you know what Andy costs? Money. Andy will fucking leave us if you don't give us money. Do you want to see Andy go? No? Then go to kindafunny.com/store and buy shirts similar to these, but not these, because we don't sell them on the store. Nick?
Yeah.
What's your topic?
Second topic. Skydiving.
I went skydiving.
Now, my wife has been kind of putting a bug in my ear for the last few years of like, she read an article somewhere that was like, hey, couples should do something crazy and dangerous together because apparently it releases like mass amounts of dopamine or some other hormone that bonds you, whatever the bonding hormone is. And she's like, we should do this. This would be fun. Now, granted, we travel together and we get that similar experience where it's like, this is challenging. We have to bond. We have to come together as a team to overcome, you know, when they don't have our king size bed ready for us at the nice hotel that she booked for us, you know? So she said skydiving. And I'm like, of course I said yes. And then I'm like, if I don't ever say anything, we'll never do it, right?
Yeah.
But then I forgot who I was married to because my wife keeps copious notes in a, I shit you not, a handwritten calendar, and we'll put things on the calendar of like, hey, remind Nick about skydiving. And so last year I got out of it because we did a hot air balloon thing that freaked me the fuck out, and I will never do that again. This year she was like,
remember that.
I went to Morocco and we did a hot air balloon, and I got in. I was like, this is gonna be fun, and I shit you not, about 10 feet off the ground, I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. We're getting high. This is getting fast. And I had a bad reaction to it where I had to like sit down in the basket for a little bit. Eventually I was like, oh, we're going to be fine. It's fine. But like, it just dawned on me that we were thousands of feet in the air and there was nothing between us and the ground except for the fucking balloon. And now when you think balloon, what do you think? Balloons pop. Naturally, right? Sure. You want to pop them. This thing pops. I plummet to the earth. Like it's eerie.
Were you in the wicker basket?
Yes. Yeah. And you're in a basket and it's super quiet and there's no wind. And you're like, this is weird because I feel like I'm in a skyscraper, but there's nothing underneath me, right? My wife was fine. We had a dude that was traveling with us. No, that was literally hanging off the side with a selfie stick, like tipping the basket. I'm like, yo, motherfucker, die on your own time. This is my shit, right?
Yeah, I paid for this.
The guy that's running the hot air balloon is like, I go way, like he's like, see that guy right there? That's a competitor. We go way higher. We're gonna go as high as planes. And I'm like, why? Why? That's the plane space up there. That's where the planes fly. I don't want to go there. Let's go below where the balloons fly. Height. So when my wife was
like giving you oxygen mask, he's like, we're gonna halo jump. We're Red Bulling this one. We're going up.
So my wife's kind of like that, and so she was like, yeah, for my birthday this year, like I don't want you to get me a present. I just want you to take me skydiving. Plan the day. You just let me know what's good. She likes to be, because I'm not a planner. We do all this stuff when I go home. It's the last thing I want to do is plan one more thing.
Yeah.
And so I was like, cool. So I planned the day where I was like, okay, we're gonna go skydiving around lunch because that's what I called the guy, and he was like, if you come this time of year is perfect because it's cold, which means visibility will be better for whatever reason. If you come at noon, that means all the cloud coverage will be burnt off. So I was like, okay, cool. We're gonna get breakfast first, and then we're gonna go at noon, and then I'll find a restaurant for us to go to, which I found a barbecue place called Speakeasy Barbecue up in Nevada, which is actually pretty good. And so I'm like, but I think I'm going to freak out because this is combining two of the phobias that one I knew I had, one I didn't know I had until a hot air balloon, which like I didn't know that heights freaked me out, but I do know that small planes definitely freak me out because I'm still dealing with like a little bit of claustrophobia here. So I'm like, I will see what happens.
I can't believe you did this.
I can't.
Nick Scarpino jumping out of a plane.
It did, yeah.
That's insane.
How small was the plane?
It's a Cessna. Okay. It's like a Widowmaker. Okay. It's like two little. Yeah, I mean it's tiny.
It's the tiniest thing you can imagine. Like,
and you are strapped in, right?
Yeah.
You get in, they get in, and they put their feet here, and then so it's me.
You're tandem jumping.
Yeah, we're tandem jumping.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't do that. I didn't do the 8-hour long like class where you get certified. You get to jump by yourself. I was like, I don't want to be in charge of pulling the chute at the wrong time because it's no, we're good. So we get there. We get to this nice place. We went to Skydive Golden Gate, which is this little tiny, like, little skydive outfit up in Novato. Really nice people. Really cool. The guy called me a couple times to confirm and, like, answered all my questions. Really nice guy. So I recommend you go there. They made us feel safe. They were cool. We met the people we were going to jump with. And so my wife and I really weren't freaking out. And I was like, I'm going to start freaking out at some point. It's going to happen. But it just hasn't happened yet because we're still on the ground, right? Get in the car to go over to the plane because the runway that they take off at is under construction, so we had to take off out of Petaluma. So I had a good 30-minute ride. Think about how much I was going to freak out. I'm like, probably going to freak out. Get to the plane. I'm like, that plane's super small. Never been near one of these. This is going to be not good. My wife's smiling. She's super excited. And I think it was because she was so like, this is going to be cool. That I'm like, all right, I guess I'll just go with this until inevitably the door shuts and I start freaking out. And I asked the guy, I was like, do people freak out and what happens if that happens? I always like to have a little security blanket of like, if I freak out, I want to be able to know that if I'm not going to jump, we're just not going to jump, we're going to land, whatever. The guy's like, no, I mean, people freak out and it's really not a good thing to do up there because you have to ride the plane back down and that's not a fun experience. You want to go out of the plane. And I'm like, okay, well, at what point do they freak out? And he goes, usually they're fine until the door opens.
Yeah.
And then the reality hits them that they're taking the quickest way possibly down to the ground, which is just to jump the fuck out.
Yeah, no,
and
that makes sense, and I stand by that.
Yeah. You rode with the door open
So
the
that was
entire
the
time.
thing. I was totally fine. I was hyped. I was like, fuck yeah, let's go. And like, there was video footage and it's like, they shot the vlog for me.
Oh, yeah.
essentially.
They did the same thing. I have that
Of like,
footage.
how do you feel and all this stuff. And it's just like, okay, cool, let's go. And I was super hyped. And we get on the plane and it was me and like maybe 4 of my other friends. And 2 of them had done it before.
How big was your plane? Because mine was tiny. Mine would not have fit 4 more people in there.
I mean, it was real tiny. But I mean, we were scooched in like dick to ass. The entire way.
Best part.
And so they 2 of them had done it before and 2 of us haven't. And I was the only one doing video, which means that there's a
you had to go
third
first.
guy.
Did
So
you go
someone's
first?
attached to me, and then there's a third guy that jumps out.
Oh,
and-
see, my
and
guy had
films
just
you.
a GoPro on his arm the entire time. So he was just like this.
Oh.
And one was taking pictures and one was taking video.
Oh, interesting.
Such a cool
Yeah,
little setup.
we had a separate guy
Okay.
that had GoPros all over him, and I have a bunch of different angles of it. It's pretty freaking
awesome.
cool. But yeah, so we had like a dedicated camera guy. So I had to go first, which meant I was closest to the door. So I'm sitting, and the door is right next to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not even a foot away. It's less than a foot away, and like I could if I moved my foot up, it'd be out the plane. And then the guys attached to me. There wasn't even a seatbelt. There wasn't anything. We're just in this plane, and there's a guy attached to me. And like, if I just like pulled him through at any point, we would have just been out of the plane. Like that seems
that's
very scary.
That's weird to me because when I got in the plane, the first thing I felt was someone like he was here and he's like, "Hey, did you see this?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "That you know what that is, right?" And I looked down. I was like, "Oh, is it a seatbelt?" He's like, "I'll put a seatbelt on you. You know how to unbuckle these, right?" And it's your standard airline seatbelt.
Yeah.
And it was a safety check. He was like, "You understand? I'm putting a seatbelt on you. If for whatever reason this plane, you have to get out of this plane, you have a seatbelt on you." And I'm like, "Okay." Which I like. I like when you explain things to me like a fucking child when
Yeah.
I'm in a dangerous situation. I don't want you to be like, let's fuck it. You understand. I'm like, talk to me about the
You got all
dynamics
this? Let's
of the
go.
seatbelt. Yeah,
I like them to explain it to me in song, but maybe that's just me.
Well, you are a Hakuna Matata kind of guy.
So no, we did not have seatbelts, and I'm sitting on this thing, and the chairs. It's like this little like bench that you're kind of on, and you're just straddling it. It's just like I've never felt that unsafe in my entire life because I was just like, yeah, I just fucking pulled forward, like we're out of the goddamn plane, and so we take off, and I'm like, oh, they're not going to close the door, and they just left the freaking door open.
that would've been
And as
terrible.
we're going up, I'm just looking out, seeing us get higher and higher and higher, and it's just right there, and I'm like, that is when I just freaked the fuck out.
Did you?
Head. Oh, in my head, I was fine. I knew we had to do it. At that point, I'm like.
No, you got to do it. That's the thing.
It was
like,
the thing where I'm like, I don't want to be the guy that makes this awkward for people, so I'd rather jump out of a plane.
right,
I
because
don't like dealing
if you're
with
the
these
first out too,
situations.
that means you're screwing everyone out. You're
Yeah.
like, they have to go land, drop you off, and take off
I
again.
was
At
like,
that point,
oh,
you're
so I'm
screwed.
just gonna do it.
That's what I thought too. The second I got in the plane, I'm like, I'm doing this. There's no way. I'm not going to ruin this experience for my wife. I'm not going to. And there was a little bit of it that was like, there's 2. And if you think that's like, if you have an image in your brain of what a skydiving instructor might be like, you fucking nailed it.
Yeah, man.
Ours was
let's
named
do
Johnny Tsunami.
There you go. Are you kidding me?
No,
That's awesome.
I mean, at least that's what it said on his.
My
thing.
2 guys were very nice guys, very knowledgeable, but they were very much like, dude, we fucking jump out of a plane all day long. This is what we do. You're going to do it, man. It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. Like one of them at one point was just like handing me a bag of like, because he could tell I was nervous. He just handed me a bag of like these sweet candies. And I was like, oh yes, I will have some of these. These look good. These are going to calm me down. Didn't calm me down. Sugar, not the right thing to respond to on that one. My guy, doors closed. We're high. We're sitting in the plane. We're high. And then the guy attached to me, and like, I feel like Like, we're fucking up there. And I'm like, okay, we're probably going to jump out sometime soon, right? Now, they gave us 2 options at Skydive Golden Gate. They were like, you can jump out at 10,000 feet, which is pretty normal, or if you pay a little extra, we'll take you up to 14,000 feet, which means that the free fall lasts a little bit longer. And I was like, 10,000 feet. And as I'm saying 10,000 feet's fine, my wife's like, 14,000 feet, 100%, right? And I'm like, oh, I guess we're jumping out at 14,000 feet.
If you're going, you're going to do it, dude.
Do it big.
I remember distinctly thinking, we are really fucking high above the ground right now, which you don't get when you're in an airliner because everything, you got room to walk around. But when you're in a little tiny plane and it's like it's rickety, and you're like, with this upholstery's from the 60s, like this plane can't be that young.
Like, you know when you go to a theme park, or like not even a theme park,
a carnival,
Yes.
and you go on a roller coaster,
that is the feeling.
how it feels. Except the door's open and you're thousands of feet in the air.
And so my door was closed, and I remember asking this guy, I was like, we're pretty high, man. Like, how high are we right now? He's like, 6,000 feet, man. And I was like, 6,000 feet. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, as in 8,000 more feet to go. He's like, oh, we're going high. And I was like, oh my God. But to the credit, they were like, one of the reasons that people like to come to us is because when you go up in Nevada, you can see like the mountains, the ocean, you can see the city, you can see like you get a bird's eye view of the entire like Northern California area. It is fucking stunning, and it was clear. It was like a crisp, clear day with like the sun just right where it needed to be to like perfectly light the rest of the. And I was like, this is really beautiful. And then the guy goes, this, okay, what are we talking about on the ground? My foot goes out first. Your 2 feet go on this little pedestal, and then my next foot's gonna come out, and then we're gonna jump, right? And I was like, cool. He said, say it back to me. I was like, your foot first, my 2 feet, then your foot, and we go. Great. So gets time. The door opens. I'm like, that is a shocking amount of noise that is coming from the outside of this plane. Now, I remember it triggered a memory for me. I remember watching Mythbusters. And by the way, people ask me, hey, how many times did you bring up Point Break? 5 times I bought it Point Break because I fucking love that movie. And ever since I saw that, in the back of my head, I'm like, maybe one day I'll see it.
The remake,
right?
right?
Power Rangers.
Fuck you for that. No, it's the Patrick Swayze, Keanu Reeves classic. And you remember those skydiving scenes? They're yelling back and forth. Bullshit. No fucking
Not
way.
a chance
It is
in
so
hell.
loud when you're free falling. All you hear is wind, right? And so, and that's what the door sounds like when it opens. So he goes, ready? I'm like, ready, right? He goes, say loud with the camera. I was like, hey, what's up? His foot goes out. My 2 feet go out. We are out of that fucking plane. That last foot was just that was a red herring, man. He was like, nope, because you're waiting for that last bit and then you're just out.
Yeah.
And the weird thing was, they had told me before, I was like, I don't believe this, but he goes, because the plane's going so fast, your launch and your inertia changes. You don't feel that sinking feeling like when you jump off of like, you cliff jump or like you go on a roller
I'm cliff
coaster.
jumping all the time.
Well, a roller coaster,
Yeah,
you go down like
your stomach.
your stomach goes,
drop.
oh, you feel like,
Turbulence in a
oh.
plane.
Or like that, where you get that weird thing, and even in video games, you'll jump off and you're like, oh, yeah, your body will feel it. I didn't feel it. It was just wind, and I flipped, and then we stabilized, and I was just like, I'm falling. I'm just falling. Like, this is weird. And it didn't even feel like falling. It just looked like there's wind coming at me, and like the scene in front of me is getting a little bit bigger, and that's it. And then boom, he pops the chute. And then I started getting nauseous.
Oh, really?
Because he started doing the thing with his circle, and I was like, "Bastard, you gotta stop." Yeah,
you just feel it.
You gotta stop. You can't do. He's like, "You doing okay?" I was like, "Well," and he's like, "All right, I'll loosen up a little bit on you." And now my choke hurts.
Yeah.
It didn't hurt yesterday, but it hurts today. My choke hurts.
I had such a different experience than you.
Really?
My God. Oh yeah. Well, you just described about the put your feet out and then go whatever. Totally different system. Like
Really?
there was a lot more steps for me to have to do.
Okay.
And I'm not good at that type of shit.
No, I
so we
can't.
get out. We had to do this thing where he's like, keep your legs together, tuck them back.
Yeah, I had to do that too. I had to tuck him back under the butt and put my head
So
back.
like in
and then
the,
when he tapped,
in the
like I had to
footage-
go out like this, and he was like, "You got to go out with your hands holding this." And I didn't realize until I jumped out of the plane that was 100% to keep me from going like this,
Punching him in the
and
face.
stopping us and like us falling. So he was like, cable like this, and then when we're stabilized, you can put your hands
Then
out
you go
like
out.
you normally
Yeah.
do.
There
And
was
I
a whole
like,
bunch of weird steps that I had to do, and it resulted in me looking just like a big fat baby, kind of falling out of the thing.
Oh, at one point I
which
was
is
sitting
really
on this
funny.
nice gentleman. Brian was his name. I was sitting on Brian from Skydive Golden Gate's lap.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, Brian, I'm pretty heavy right now, man. I'm sorry. Like, I've been working out a little bit. And he's like, it's fine, man. I'm like, but are your legs going to sleep?
Function?
Yeah. I was like, because I'd like
He
you
just
to
does
be
like a
able
weird
to-
like roll.
Yeah.
Tumbling.
So for me, I've told this story before, but I made the dumb choice of going straight from being at the resort, and I was wearing Chubby's swim trunks, which
that's a
Chubby's
bad
are
idea.
extra short swim trunks.
You've got that just against your skin at this point.
And so like they're 6 inches long. So like just think about that. It's not much.
No.
It's a lot of thigh being shown. And I didn't have underwear underneath it. It was just swim trunks.
Yeah.
And then I had a filthy casual tank top on.
Yeah, you did.
And I'm just like,
Jesus.
That was it. I was like, fuck it. Let's go skydiving.
Did they offer you a flight suit? Like an actual like jumpsuit?
No, they didn't give a fuck about me. No.
Because ours, they were like, "Do you guys want a jumpsuit just in case you land on the grass and you skid? You might get like,
What were you wearing?
I read the FAQ and it said wear jeans and a shirt that covered like has a little thickness to it. So I wore a sweatshirt, just a pullover sweatshirt, jeans,
also
and these
put the
shoes.
fear of God in him.
Yeah, he did too. He was like, it's gonna hurt if you don't. And then they gave us a Dickies like zip up workman jumpsuit to go with that. So I had a good
Dodger.
half an inch of coverage over
Yeah,
my entire body.
Meanwhile,
Yeah, you just jumped out.
I jumped out essentially naked.
That's
and I'm
baller.
like, it fucking sucked because immediately, like what you're talking about not feeling oh no, that free fall for me, like, and I don't know what it was, but it felt like the roller coaster feeling for 15 seconds.
Really?
Yeah, like it was just constant,
It
constant
didn't
going.
feel that way for me or my wife. She was like, I didn't feel that either. It just felt
Extremely
beautiful.
hard to breathe. Like,
Yeah, that was a little
really
weird.
hard. But it was like, all right, cool, this is cool. Like I was into it. Like it was thrilling. It's that feeling of jumping off a cliff and like where you start to hear everything start to whoosh faster and faster and faster as you fall faster.
You hit
and faster.
terminal velocity.
And it's like, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it goes whoosh, and it pulls up and the parachute goes. And that's when I was in the most pain in my life. And it just goes everywhere all over me. And I was just like crippled and just fucked going down. And it hurt so bad.
Yeah.
And I couldn't think about anything but just the blinding pain. And everything was so tight and both my legs fell asleep as I was going down. And
really?
Yeah. So
Okay.
like what you were just talking about, when I landed, my leg, I just landed like sitting down.
Yeah, I was like, I moved my legs around and like curled them around behind me and just kept them going because it was. Yeah, I mean, you're sitting in that the sling basically of the what was not a holster, whatever the fuck they call it, for a while. And that's the thing. I didn't realize the canopy ride was gonna be that long.
So long.
How long is the rough ballpark?
Minutes,
Ballpark
like
minutes?
maybe four
Oh,
minutes,
wow.
5 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so
way
you're
higher.
up there for a while, which is cool because then I looked up, I saw my wife shoot pop,
Yeah,
and I was
and
like,
he-
cool, my wife's not dead. That's awesome.
Did yours do the thing that was like, oh, do you want to control it?
No, he didn't offer that to
Oh,
me.
really?
He did it for D. D was like, yeah, I got to hold the thing and like do this.
You were getting car sick. That's
No,
what
to me, I think he did the thing where, because I guess I'm heavier. He was like, hey, I'm gonna loosen you up. It's gonna feel like you're falling for a second. Don't worry, I'm not like letting you go. And which I'm glad he said that because he reached down,
Dude,
like, boom, and I went, whoa.
and you go,
like
bah.
you drop for
You
a second,
drop.
and
And
your
it was
asshole
scary as fuck.
goes tight, man,
Yeah.
watertight. You're like, whoa, okay, we're good, we're fine. Watertight, baby. Can't get water in
Yeah.
there. Can't get a thumb in there. Can't get anything in there.
My thing is, I know that I'm making it sound like it was the worst experience ever. I would totally do it again. I just wouldn't be a fucking jackass.
Well,
and I'd
call
put clothes
up my
on.
wife because she wants to do it again. You guys can go together. You can take Gina.
Are you done? You're no good?
The thing is, I liked it. I'm like, cool, I did it. I don't like my wife, in her words, she hit the ground and was like, do you think they'll let us go again right now? And I'm like, no, I don't think they will. I
Yeah,
think it's a
no.
schedule thing.
Yeah.
I made some shit up. I was like, because I got
I
queasy
I
also.
heard that they were talking about like the plane's got to get retired.
Yeah, I was like,
they got to work on the
plane's done.
engine.
This is the last time. No, but I mean, to this credit of the shop, they dropped us off like, thanks guys, and another couple just got in and they went again. I'm like, you guys are gonna do that again?
I mean, that's crazy.
You're
It's
gonna do that
expensive too. I
again?
mean, the only thing is, I don't want to do it again. I would. It's like I did it. I'm done. Like it's definitely something I've always wanted to do. And
No,
I'm like, cool.
if you were like, Nick, I want you to go with me my first time skydiving, I'd go with you. And having done it again and realizing that like all of the like there's nothing really to be scared of other than the fact that the
anything goes
the waiver
wrong.
they make you sign is 19 initials. That's how many initials you have to put on this. Every paragraph's like, are you sure you read this? Because you are, and they make you watch an instructional video. A very
And
nice
it's
guy, very
terrifying.
big beard, who was like, in no uncertain terms, is like, you might die today. Today might be your last day on this earth, and you might die in a way that is probably the most terrifying way to die ever.
And Nick's not exaggerating.
No,
He's not joking.
that's what
about
the guy
it. That's
said.
What they say in the video.
Yeah.
It's like,
Did you have the same beard guy talking
it
to you?
sounds like I did.
'Cause
I
this
think
is
he invented the holster.
Tandem. Yes, he
that's
invented
what
the
it was.
tandem rig. It's beard. He's the guy. He looks like Father
Beardo
Christmas.
McBeardson.
He's
and
awesome.
His tandem rig.
Woo.
Yeah, that's fun. You should do it.
Nah, not a chance.
Why not? Oh, you don't
I
like
still
roller
want to.
coasters and stuff,
Yeah,
right?
that's I'm prone to motion sickness. I don't like. I hate that stomach drop feeling. Like I'm not about it. And that was the thing I've told the story before, but I always thought I would if the opportunity was presented. And we finished up at noon once, and I took off a mic, and some dude from IGN that I never ever saw again walked over, and he's like, "Oh, hey, I just came on, and I'm doing this with sales or whatever." marketing."
You never
He's
saw
like,
him again because he died from a skydiving.
Oh my God. And
accident.
he was like, hey, yeah, like we're working on a deal and we were thinking it'd be cool. I have friends who do the skydiving thing. If we sent you and Naomi up there, would you be down for that? And my mind was clear and I was like, no, was like, oh, well, no, I guess I wouldn't do that. No,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, just the process you're describing. I'm like, no, doesn't sound like something I think would be fun for me. I'm glad other people get out of it.
There has just been this thing that I've been trying to do this whole year, or doing this whole year, I should say, successfully, which was just been like, when I encounter things that give me any level of anxiety or fear, I stop to ask myself, I'm like, is this something that I should do just for that reason right there? And skydiving definitely ticks off that box.
Sure.
Where I'm like, normally not something that I'd want to do, but I'm like, I wonder, I want to check in and see, can I sit in that plane for a while? Do I have, like, what is that feeling going to be when that door opens? And right when I jump out, is it going to be that crazy, like, oh shit, I'm going to die feeling, or what will I feel?
Yeah.
And it was very weird to explore those feelings as I jumped, because right as we left, I was like, oh, and then we were falling, and that was it. And I was like, I took a moment to realize that I'm like, I am falling from 14,000 feet, and it's fun. Like, this is fun. This is cool. Like, and then there's the moment where you're like, I really hope that chute pops. That would be cool too. But and then the chute pops, you're like, huh, that wasn't that bad. Actually, I liked the free fall a lot more than I liked the canopy ride. The canopy ride, I was like, can we pop that a little bit later next time so we could just do this for like 2 minutes and then go down?
Yeah.
Because I got queasy. I didn't like the G forces on it. But it was very cool because I was like, I'm proud of myself. Like, I didn't think that I was going to do this. This is cool. It's fucking fun. And my wife and I, the whole weekend, we were just stopping and being like, we jumped out of an airplane. We fucking jumped out of a fucking airplane. Like, it was awesome. It was fun.
That's cool. Yeah, I think for me, it just falls into the same category as when we went to shoot guns for Kevin's thing.
Yeah.
Where I was all about it. Like, I'll do it because we're all doing it. When we got there and it wasn't like everybody needed to do it, I was like, oh, then I want to save my money.
Yeah, that's
like,
totally,
I just have I have shotguns. I have no desire to do it again. I don't get the adrenaline rush out of it. Like, it's crazy. It's fun to do. Like, we did, or you didn't go that one time. I did in Austin. I've done it in Missouri.
Sure.
Like, it's like cool, but it was just like that. And the same thing here where it's just like, no, I don't want to be motion sick. And I feel like that's what would happen.
The gun thing was interesting too, because I was like, well, first off, we went to the gun store in Las Vegas, which is an indoor range, which I was like, I didn't love the indoor range aspect of it. I wish we could have gone someplace where it was outdoors, because it was so fucking loud and hot in there, and you had to keep the ear protection and the eye protection on, and there was like 15 of us in that small space, and I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do with this. But just the opportunity to actually, like, for that, I was like, I want to fire a machine gun because I've done it so many times in like video game world.
Yeah.
Like, it seems silly that I wouldn't actually do it in real life. I hate to say it, but I'm like, I had a fun time.
No, guns are fun to shoot.
I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
Kevin had a great time.
He did. There's a Game Over Greggy show all about it.
Yeah.
If you didn't know, this has been the Game Over Greggy show. Each and every week, 4, sometimes 3 best friends gather on this table. Each bring a random topic discussion for your amusement. If you like that, head over to patreon.com/kindafunny, where you can toss us a couple bucks. Get each and every episode early. How early, Kevin?
You could be watching right now.
You could be watching right now live, yeah, you know what I mean? Or you can get it early as a video and MP3 on Friday. You get a bunch of exclusive things we do, cool perks and goodies, all sorts of cool stuff, like that Christmas card. That was one of them. If you got no bucks to toss our way, though, we totally understand. Head over to youtube.com/kindafunny, where you can get the show topic by topic, day by day, until it goes up as one big video in MP3 the following Friday. No matter where you get the show, thank you so much for watching. I mean a lot if you subscribed, liked, shared, all that jazz. But you knew that. 2017 has been amazing thanks to you. Let's make 2018 even better. Until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you. Thanks for watching the Game Over Greggy show, everybody. Did you go to kindafunny.com/the store yet? Fuck the annotations. Buy a t-shirt. I don't give a shit what you click on unless it's the link for the fucking store.